say anything does not matter.
So you won't believe the police either?
Unless the decision comes.
She's made her statement in writing, and her testimony is there, as well as the boy's testimony, and they both have testified to the fact that indeed
the rule of law
this
in this
young
country?
boy was extremely brutal.
The inquiry is pending. Inquiry is pending. Let the rule of law prevail in this country. How come we are making the presumption?
The purpose of today's debate is only whether this act needs to be revisited, and this
that is the question.
Highlights that
needs to be revisited.
Tell me one thing, Malavika. Laws have been changed before.
I agree.
Laws change according to context.
But then we cannot discuss the details of this case. Which hasn't even where a trial.
It's a very bad case.
I am saying laws have been changed before. Why can't the law be changed in this particular
case? Because it's a very bad case for changing the law. It's a very bad case for changing the law.
Laws have been changed before, and they should change if they need to be changed. But they should not be changed because of one case.
Well, let me.
You are dramatizing one case to say that's enough.
Malavika, I'm sorry if you say dramatizing. There's no dramatizing. It is pure, straightforward reporting and asking of questions.
Of a case where a trial has not begun, Arnab.
Yes, how can we are presuming? Let them be inquiry.
I understand your concern, and you're talking about human rights. But I always ask this question: that what about the human rights of the victims?
Yes,
and potential
that's
victims.
a valid question.
And today, across the country, what about their human rights?
That's true.
This is the question. Always, if we put this point of view, no, let's be more sympathetic, let's reform. Some things can be reformed, some things need to be punished. And a society that does not punish or lacks the courage to punish runs the risk of having the same incidents being repeated again. We'll discuss this again 6 months from now. Quick last word, 5 minutes left on the debate. Subramaniam.
Hopefully we don't have to discuss
Hopefully we don't have to.
Please, let's finish on that.
Hopefully we don't have to, but let's not live in a world where we believe these incidents don't happen.
Yeah.
Subramaniam, sir.
Well, it's a badly drafted law. And
no, it's not. It's very intelligently drafted law.
I have read the standing committee report. And unfortunately, that time the law ministry intervened and brought this 18. 18 is nowhere in the UN conventions. And therefore, we have to revisit it, and that can be done by reading into the law, or the Supreme Court can do and the High Court can do, to say what are the exceptions that 18 means an act of a juvenile. And if it turns out that he was mature, he was emotionally, intellectually mature, then he would be tried under the normal IPC. Incidentally, the IPC has placed the age at 12. Where anyone over 12 will be tried under the APC.
No, there is a lot of misinformation. The UNCRC says...
I'll give you one example.
Let me say, there is a lot of misinformation. The person will be out. No, he will not be out. So read section 3, which allows that in an inquiry in respect of a person who ceases to be a juvenile will continue as if the person would have been a juvenile, and then orders will be passed. He will be entitled, right?
No, I want to present 2 cases. I have 2 case studies.
Yes.
One, because you are arguing so strongly, and I come back to the Dombivli Ifteasing case. I am asking a question today: who is the law on behalf of the accused or the victim, and do we fight too hard? Do informed groups fight too hard on behalf of the accused always? And has it become fashionable to only fight on behalf of the accused and not on the victim? 1 minute. Example today. Dombivli Ifteasing case. One youth was killed for trying to protect a girl. 4 out of the 5 accused were minors. And hence, once presented in the juvenile court, what happened? It was said they will be released after they turn 18. Now,
no, it's not correct.
1 minute, please.
It's not correct law.
This is exactly what happened in the Dombivli case. Please, you can't question me on fact. My facts are absolutely correct.
Okay,
and let me tell you on this.
Please.
I'll share the facts with you after. No, I am never wrong on these facts. Please listen to me. Let me tell you one thing. Listen to my story. Why am I asking you this question? The boy who died, mother is a cancer patient. Father passed away 2 years ago, forcing him to be the sole breadwinner of the family. Is this the justice that our law will provide? To a boy whose mother is a cancer patient, father passed 2 years ago, forcing him to be the sole breadwinner of a family, killed for trying to protect a girl. Where is the justice?
Yes, law has to
where is the justice?
Justice has to be there. There is a victim compensation law coming.
Compensation?
It's there.
Compensation.
If you hang this boy, what will come to the victim
let's get Shazia. How would you deal with that case?
I think there's crimes like these, they're beyond compensation. Something like this, the only compensation can be actual punishment and tough punishment and making example of it. I understand that you feel somebody is a child, but child is what child does. I think there is a need to make a case and a kind of a qualifier when it comes to 18-year age in terms of the kind of crime that has been committed. It's important. I understand you don't want life imprisonment, you don't want death punishment. I understand that, but I'm saying 3 years is nothing.
So
change that. Let's revisit it. Laws are not holy gospel.
Let there be a positive debate on that.
They should address the needs and addresses and concerns.
I'm requesting you to understand that this is not. This is not a case in isolation. Malavika, I disagree with you there, because with all respect, because in December 2012, there was another case in Meghalaya, went a little unnoticed. I think this was a gang rape of an 18-year-old. There were 8 there. 8 were juveniles who carried out the gang rape between the ages of 13 and 17. 8 of them. In June 2012, and I'm again telling you, there was a young woman from Tripura. So you don't want me to talk about these instances?
I mean, I can also give counter instances.
No, I'm giving you instances. You are responding to my instances. No, I'm talking about cases where rapes and murders have happened. I'm obviously not talking about cases where they have not happened, if you're presenting the contrary case. I am presenting cases where rapes, because the argument is this is, you know, it happens, you're drawing an exception, you're hyping it, or it's someone dramatizing it. Where's the dramatizing in this?
No, the proposition is, do you want juvenile crime to increase, or do you want to control it?
No,
JJ Act is on that. Should you implement it properly, juvenile crime will come down.
If 18 is an age, it has been obviously done with some development, with some thought and address.
What thought?
The statement of objects and reasons which is that it's in consonance with the United Standards rights of child.
And I read out what the United Nations said. It has got nothing to do with 18.
No,
it's
sir,
just
you're
emotional
totally wrong.
and intellectual maturity. That's there in
Sir, with
in
due
the
respect,
rules.
you are totally wrong on this. UNCRC did say...
I'm always totally wrong, but what are you right on? What I want to know.
Sir,
you're on the side of a rapist.
Well, for once I'm on your side, Mr. Swami.
UNCRC reading is totally wrong from your part, sir. UNCRC did say that... Anyway.
Couple of minutes on the debate. Neena Nayak has been disagreeing very loudly as we've been debating this. Neena Nayak, has Subramaniam Swamy brought you over to his side on this debate here? Because these instances are not unique. They are not happening only once in a while. None of the cases I've presented are isolated cases, Neena Nayak. Why can't we change the law?
Rule 3.
These are very few cases, Arnab. Let's see, just a systems failure. We need to have proper systems in place. I wish you move your argument to another side in favor of children. Let's talk about the 170 million children in our country who need care and protection. Let's talk about the street child. How many of your panelists have actually interacted with such children?
Why can't we do both?
Have you seen the kind of...
Why can't we do both?
Can you see the...
No, why can't we do both?
We are doing both.
Let's change the whole...
Why can't we, Neena Nayak, why can't we change the law, make the law a little bit more stringent, at the same time improve the correctional facilities?
The law is very well thought of.
Well, mutually exclusive of each other. They can be done together.
They're being done together. They're being done together.
No, I'm sorry, Arnab. You're just trying to sensationalize this case. All that we have done for 70 years to protect the rights of our children, you're trying to bring it down in one argument. We're just getting a few people who've never interacted with children at that level. How many of your panelists have talked to children on the street? How many of them have visited their homes?
This was no child. This was not an act of a child.
The kind of abuse that
this was action of a seasoned, hardened criminal.
No, it's a typical juvenile. It's a typical juvenile.
One second. First of all, let me say this with the utmost respect, Neena Nayak, that it is very easy to shoot the messenger. It is inappropriate for you, ma'am, to say we are sensationalizing this case. I can tell you that the last thing anybody would do is sensationalize cases.
No, it's happening. It's happening or not.
No, please.
It's a matter of concern for us.
You open yourself up to the argument on all sides, and we'll open up this debate.
We are
it's not the
concerned
first
about
debate
it.
We'll have on this. Let's have a proper debate and a detailed debate.
And you're talking about this, about these children.
Neena Nayak, please, can I just ask one thing? Can I ask you one thing? Okay, can I ask you one thing? Can I ask you one thing, ma'am? I want to ask you one thing.
Yeah, tell me.
Tell me this. Tell me one thing, Neena Nayak. Can this fellow who has carried out in this state, egged on others, forced the assault, trapped the girl, carried out the brutality, carried out the most horrific rape and murder of this girl, can this fellow be corrected in 3 or 4 months? Tell me.
On behalf
Yes. Many of them have been corrected.
Okay, so
it may take 10 years.
But even then you have to revisit the law.
No.
Have to revisit the law.
You'd say that this fellow will be out in 3 years.
No.
At the most.
He's
at the
just
most.
explained there would still be supervision. There would still be all of those things.
Please don't talk about
and you're looking at possible. Can you say of an 18-year-old human being that he is beyond reform? Ask Kiran Bedi this question.
Let me ask the question.
The case of Chambal have been reformed. What about this child?
My question, please, that's wrong. My question is, can this fellow be reformed in 1 minute?
100%, Arnab, 100%.
Or 1 year, 3 months, give me a precise time.
I am not the one who will give the time. The councillors will.
No, I don't think it's relevant whether he can be reformed or not.
Of course it is. It's the only question.
I think he has to be made an example of. You can have.
Now.
That is what I am saying. That is my concept of law.
I'm sorry.
That here is a person who cannot be forgiven. Even if he has got scope for reform, no.
Who is asking
he has to pay.
This is the most dangerous sort of argument, which is what erodes our criminal justice system. You cannot have people being made an example of without regard to the scope and parameters of
I think the answer lies somewhere in the middle. While I don't believe in the bleeding hearts fighting for human rights of the accused, also this very bloodthirsty mob, violence kind of a thing. Because the answer has to be in the middle. The answer and the sense of outrage that the whole community, the whole nation has felt.
Let's hang him.
Let her complete. And we're not just talking about any person.
The sense of outrage that the whole community has felt has to be addressed. There has to be a sense of closure. It has to be a balance between this bloodthirsty, mob crazy approach and this bleeding heart approach that let's be.
No, we are not asking him to be hanged and lynched. We are saying through the court, hang him.
Well, one last thing I'd say at the very end.
I agree. Let the matter be in the courts.
This fellow, and I'm not calling him a juvenile or a child. I find nothing childlike in what he did.
Monster.
This monster.
I mean, how you are presuming that?
I am looking by what the Delhi police
said. Now, if you say believe in rule of law,
the problem is
prima facie monster.
Mr.
Do you believe in rule of law?
Yes, it's a prima facie monster.
Then let the judgment come.
Mr. Asthana, the problem is that with your line of argument, and I believe in the rule of law, by the way.
But you are passing judgment without inquiry.
Mr. Asthana, I am a law-abiding citizen. And I have a right to ask you, as a law-abiding citizen, whether you think that this fellow, what he's done, is monstrous or not. And 1 minute, please. And then let me also tell you, this fellow, he subjected, according to the police, the maximum sexual abuse on 3 occasions. Once after she was unconscious. I don't want to say about what he did with the internal body parts of this person. And he is the one who said, throw her out of the bus. He is the one who said, remove her clothes. He is the one who engaged in the most barbarism. And therefore, if you're going to be so sensitive to him today, I'm going to ask you whether it's time for you to correct the way.
No, I'm all for that girl suffering as well. My heart bleeds for that girl suffering. I mean, I can't sleep when I think of the suffering which the girl had.
She can't suffer no more.
But
she's dead.
Is it okay for a rule of law based society to jump into these kind of judgments?
Yes, but a rule of law based society.
Police has said something. Let the honorable society
debate
and let the law take its own
course. That's what we are saying.
Are we a khap panchayat that we pass own judgment?
What are we debating here today? I don't think you understood, Mr. Asthana, what we are debating. I can repeat it for you.
No, he understood it.
I am only asking you today whether the law can be amended. That's all.
Law needs to be amended.
Now the question is, Aryaman Sundaram wanted a word. One second, Aryaman Sundaram, before I close the debate. I'm already over time, but Aryaman Sundaram, yes, please.
Arnab, this law, according to me, is completely flawed. It is a law which does not take into account the nature of the offence. If you notice certain sections, they do talk about the seriousness of the offence, the kind of offence, and it does show that the act itself has somewhere behind it looking at what kind of offence it is. I think it's a ridiculous discussion. Assume that Kasab was 17 and a half years. What would everybody's reaction be? Would everybody say he's a juvenile, poor chap, he must be looked after? The point is, did the person who's doing the crime know he was committing it? Is he mature enough to know it? And what was the nature of the crime? There are some crimes you can pass and say this is you can reform. But there are other crimes which demand retribution. In any society, the theory of punishment has 3 aspects: retributive, deterrent and reformative. We cannot throw out the other 2 just for one. And I fully agree that children should be corrected. According to me, a lot of people, even adult criminals in this country, commit crimes because of a very sad environment from which they come. But the fact is, we really have to look at A, the nature of the crime, the seriousness of the crime, and secondly, we've got to look at the maturity and the knowledge of the person who's committing the crime. We cannot impose any arbitrary age limit and forget about the reality.
I have only, Mr. Sundaram, as I close this debate, I'd only like to say one thing. All the time we talk about compassion and empathy for the accused. For once, let's have some compassion and empathy for the victims and all those who feel like potential victims.
Yes.
We think that we don't have compassion and empathy for the victims.
I did not. I have mentioned a statement, and it was not meant to provoke you. Malavika Rajkotia, Mr. Asthana, Shazia, Subramaniam Swami, we agree to disagree. Ms. Nayak, we can agree to disagree, and we'll have a bigger debate on this. We've all had our appropriate says on this debate, and let me tell you this. This issue matters to the people, and we will debate it again. We will call all sides. Let's see where this entire story goes. And as I debate this, let me also say the recommendations of the Justice Verma Committee also with the government. If the government is serious, let the government do something about it. We'll follow that up as well.